Hello, it's Gareth here. I hope you are well. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about something which, if you use this little method I'm going to share with you, can make a massive difference to your productivity throughout the entire week. Now, in case you're looking at me and thinking I look a bit scruffy today, I have just literally finished cleaning my house. Sunday is the day I clean my house. So every second week I clean my house on a Sunday, but every single Sunday I do what I'm going to share with you today. And this allows me to have a much more organised, structured and efficient week. So, what is it? Well, firstly, I'm going to say this is not something I invented. It's not something I came up with myself. It's something I discovered from somebody I follow online. Now, if you're interested in personal development, and especially if you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, there's a guy you can check out on Facebook. He has a group on there called Coffee with Dan. His name's Dan Meredith. He has this book. It's like this is a journal actually. But I've read all of his books actually, and the one thing that he mentioned in his book that I've been trying and working with for a lot of time now is something called a weekly brain dump. Now, I call it the Sunday night brain dump because I do it on a Sunday night, Sunday evening more accurately. But it's something, once you understand this, it's a really simple practice. You don't need a lot of equipment to do it. All you need is a notepad and pen, basically. But it gives you the chance to become a lot more organised with your thoughts, your thinking, and your time. So one of the big things I find people struggle with is time management. You know, they don't seem to have enough time each week to get stuff done that they need doing, and that can be frustrating and also massively problematic. If you've got to get things done you don't get done, you can sometimes get in a lot of trouble, especially if it's work-related. So the idea of a Sunday night brain dump is just sitting down with a piece of paper, notepad, pen, whatever it is, and just writing down all the things that you need to do next week. So if you can do this in 20 minutes actually. It takes about 20 minutes to do this properly. Write down all the things you need to do next week. Then start to put some dates and times towards when you want them things done by. So when I do mine, I want to put down everything I need to do next week. I also, when I'm doing this brain dump, and I've kind of adapted Dan Meredith's method for my own use as well, by also writing down all the things that are bothering me. What's on my mind at the moment? Have I got any worries, concerns that are kind of coming up? I want to get them down on paper too. In effect, it is, you know, it kind of says what it does. You know, you take everything that's in your brain and dump it onto paper. There's another book that I will mention. I can't remember who it's by. I wish I'd have thought about that before I started recording this, but there's a book called The Second Brain. The idea of this, and the guy that wrote that, the concept of a second brain is our brains are great for coming up with ideas, but they're not particularly good at storing them. So when we start to clog our mind up with stuff, firstly, it can be a little bit kind of overwhelming. Secondly, we forget most of it. Also, you want to get your ideas out of your head onto paper as quickly as possible. So doing a weekly brain dump is another way of doing that. Any thoughts, ideas, worries, stresses, get them down on paper. Everything you need to do for next week, get it down on paper. Then start to allocate some time and the dates to the things you know you need to do, and also start to maybe come up with some solutions on that brain dump for things you can do about the things that are worrying you. You know, if you're worried about something, writing it down is the first step to solving it. Then you come up with ways you could solve it. So this idea of just taking some time each week, like I said, I do it on a Sunday. You can do it whatever day or of the week you want, whatever time of the day you want really. Dump all that down on paper and then start to work out how you're going to fit all that in. It's surprising how much time we spend actually drifting, doing things that are not productive. And I'm not into this, you should be hustling all the time. I think you do need time to rest. I think you need downtime. You need time to spend doing things you enjoy doing. But we also, all of us, I don't care who you are listening to this, we all spend too much time drifting and doing things that are not that productive. And when you know clearly what you need to do and you put some time towards it, like in a brain dump, and you say, I'm going to do it for by Wednesday, or I want that done on Thursday, I'm going to fit it at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, all of a sudden you can start to see that your week has got more than enough time. The reason it feels like it doesn't is because we're spending too much time drifting, because we're not really that clear what we need to do because we haven't written it down. We've got some rough ideas in our heads which we forget about. So by becoming more organised with your thinking, by becoming more efficient at kind of dumping your contents of your head onto paper and organising it, you will start to find you'll have a lot more time available to you, because you'll actually realise you spend a lot of time doing nothing. I didn't mention I'm looking rough today because I clean the house on a Sunday. Every other week on a Sunday, me and my partner, so we clean the house. It's our kind of our routine. But actually what I realise is we can actually get this house cleaned really efficiently when we're not messing about in between. When we used to have a system where we sort of said, well, we'll clean it when it needs cleaning. Oh, let's do a kitchen. Oh, my office needs doing. Let's clear that. It never worked. But when you actually said, you know what, these are the rooms that need doing, this is what they need to be looking like, we can get it done in a lot more efficient way and get it done in a lot shorter time simply by organising our time better. And that all comes from the weekly brain dump. So if you're somebody who is a bit unorganised, if you're somebody who thinks, do you know what, I'm not always good with my time management, starting off by having a weekly brain dump. Like I say, I think Sunday's a great time to do it because you get your head clear about the week ahead. And generally, most people don't work on a Sunday. You're in quite a relaxed state. And it's a good time to do it, actually, because you feel quite relaxed. It's a bit of fun. I enjoy doing it. I literally sit with my notepad and pen upstairs. You know, I'm just laid on couch, fire on, waiting for Sunday dinner to be prepared and just play about with this for 20 minutes. And by the end of it, I've got a planned week. I've got all the things that are concerning me onto paper, so they're not concerning me anymore. And I've got all the things and ideas and thoughts I've had for the week written down. Now, what I will say is it's good to do that on a Sunday, but every idea you've got, like I say, you want to check out this other book, The Second Brain, that talks about as soon as an idea comes, don't say I'll remember it, write it down, find some way of making notes. I carry these around with me wherever I go, these little sticky notepads, what are they? You know, sticky notes, well, I don't know what they're called actually. Anyway, sticky notes. I use them. Every time I get an idea, I write it down. I use them or I put them onto my phone. So there's a couple of things out of today's video. Firstly, a weekly brain dump makes you more organised. Secondly, if you start to have ideas, don't try to remember them, get them onto a piece of paper and then store them somewhere. And then when you're doing your weekly brain dump, you can go through all your ideas and see what you can do with them, organise them, store them somewhere, but you've got them down on paper. And if you are interested in learning more about Dan Meredith, check out his Facebook page. It's called Coffee with Dan. He has another paid group called Espresso with Dan. He's a great guy. You'll like him if you're an entrepreneur. And if you are interested in becoming more efficient with your thinking, check out the book, A Second Brain. Do you know what? While I'm on, I'll just Google it. It's by a guy called Tiago Forte. So check out the book, Building a Second Brain by Tiago Forte. It's a great book, great concept, and that's helped me tremendously as well. So between Dan and Tiago, I've become a lot more efficient with my time management by two very simple practices, the brain dump and the getting the ideas onto paper and creating a second brain. So there you go. That's today's video for you. I will be back tomorrow for another one. Take care.